Hey, welcome, Tahoma. We got a brand new program for our school. It's called Call with Duty. And it's kind of a pun on my last name, but it's a chance for you to talk with me and to find out what's going on at Tahoma High School, ask questions that you might have. I might even have a few answers for you. But it's not all about me. We've also brought in our president, and that's Makai, our ASB president. Why don't you join us, Makai?
Hello, hello, hello.
How you doing, Makai?
I'm doing pretty good. Just rolled out of bed, still in the pajamas. Got to stretch, but we're enjoying life.
Awesome. Looks like you got some LPs up there on the wall behind you.
Oh yeah, loving it. Got to get a good vinyl going.
Get in vinyl. No, love it, love it. And we also have Brady, our ASB vice president, joining us this morning.
Good morning.
Hey,
How
Brady.
are you doing?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I'm just enjoying life as well as I can.
All right, well, that's cool. Thanks for jumping in here with us. Hey, Tahoma, this is something we're hoping we can do every couple of weeks, and just get you questions, just chat a little bit, find out what's going on at Tahoma. So it's going to be a program we'll run during Power Hour. We're going to run it at 11:20 every couple of weeks, and we'll have special guests. We'll have special topics that we'll talk through. So hopefully you can join us for a few of these, and we'll hang on to the recording. So if you want to go back and watch, that would be great. So first thing we're going to talk about is COVID-19, and there's great parts about COVID. There's really ugly, bad parts about COVID, and there's everything in between. So I wanted to start off by talking with our prez over there, Makai. Makai, how's COVID been going for you? What are some of the good parts about it, and what are the bad parts?
There are some ups and downs, Terry. Can I call you Terry? It is it has been a bit of a roller coaster. I mean, for me, jobs-wise, I've applied to 8 jobs, still got no hits, got a couple interviews. I got a couple crazy stories for that one. The whole school situation, that's definitely something. But I mean, a lot of people, big summer break. That's what a lot of people thought it was. I mean, it started out great. Then it went to the whole monotony of, hey, it's a big summer break with nothing to do. But yeah, no, for me, I guess it was just, missing the people a lot, seeing your wonderful faces in person. But no, we started school, so now I got something to do, but we have just been rolling then, trying to keep myself working.
Is there anything you've enjoyed about it that you've been like, hey, this is kind of cool?
Probably a lot of the freedoms. I mean, I started talking to a couple people more. You get a lot more time for the introspection, working on my music. So, not only do I like the vinyls behind me, but I'm a big guitar guy. Play a lot of guitar. I've been playing for about 4 years. So, I have a lot of time to that.
We're going to have you break out a guitar on one of our shows here. That would be awesome. Brady, how about you? You sitting in a fancy chair. What have you been up to, man?
Well, during COVID, I've been applying to lots of colleges, and obviously UW is my top school I'm applying to. And then I originally was supposed to have an internship at Microsoft this summer. Unfortunately, that got canceled due to COVID. So you never really know what happens during unpredictable times like these.
Yeah,
and you just have to be like really, really careful. Like, just try to stay safe, because no one really knows how this virus will go around until we have a vaccine.
Absolutely. Hey, something, King County's dropping. We're down, I think we dropped under 70 over the weekend. In other words, cases per 100,000, and we're getting close to maybe even be able to pivot back into school. But I'm worried. The weather's nice, people are outside. Also start getting some smoky weather, and people start going inside, and obviously the virus transmits more inside. How do you see Tahoma? Are we behaving ourselves out there in the valley and doing the right thing, masking up? What are you guys seeing?
Oh, well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm seeing a big variety. I mean, personally, I've been saying with my, bubble of people and all of that, but I mean, with social media and everything, you can see what's going on. I mean, you have a lot of people that are, social distancing, all that, keeping to the, 5 to 10 person limit, the consistent, that amount of people. With others are doing this, that, and the other thing, and sometimes even their own parents. But just trying to keep safe. I mean, I had a little bit of a scare with it earlier this, a month and a half ago. My older brother was in contact and all that. Quarantined myself for about 3 weeks. So, it's definitely real out there, and just making sure to stay safe. So.
All right, behave ourselves. Brady, do you know anybody that's got it? Anybody in your family? Any friends? Any distant relatives?
Personally, I do not, but I know like a lot. Oh wait, but I do have like some family friends that do have it, and they have to quarantine themselves. It's a really like hard thing that they're doing it with, and so we all want to make sure that we're trying to limit our exposure in big social groups and to try to follow the CDC guidelines so we can all stay safe and all be healthy and keep our loved ones safe during this time.
Yeah, I've got a daughter that's in college, and I'll bet she's had 20, 30 friends that have got it. And it's like, wow, really? And then I know a couple teachers. I know some adults in our community that have got it through their kids. And I just think that the thing that people aren't missing is like my daughter's age, it's not that big of a deal, right? People get headaches, they, kind of get a little bit of a fever, and they think, oh, no big deal. And then that message spreads out to their friends. It's like, well, Johnny had it, but it wasn't that big of a deal. But we know as we get into an older population, as we get into the parents, the grandparents, we're getting way up there. Almost 200,000 people now have not made it through this, and that's a lot of deaths. So I think it's the important message there is we all have to do our part, even though it might not impact us. And you never know. There was a 19-year-old kid down in Puyallup that was on the baseball team, super healthy, that didn't make it through it. So we have to do this for our community. And I agree with you guys. This sucks, and it's not much fun. We'd rather all be back in school. We miss each other. I think that's key. I miss seeing people. I miss the kids. I walk around the hallways at school and they're empty. And it's just not right. But we have to do our part of this, once every 100-year kind of a thing, and kind of get through this. But it only takes a few people to win for everybody. So we all have to kind of rally up and do what we can do. So appreciate that. Anything else on COVID, guys, that you can think of?
No, not off the top of the head,
Okay. All right. Well, the thing I think we most people want to hear about is school and remote learning. And this is a time for you guys to fire in some questions. If you have some questions out there, so type those into the chat bar, and we'll try to do the best job that we can getting to your questions. But
Mr. Judy,
yeah.
Here's a question from someone. How's remote learning going at Tahoma?
Yeah, that's a good one. And I'll tell you, it's better than what I expected, to tell you the truth. We were really nervous. I've never, in all my years being a principal at Tahoma, never worked harder. And I mean that sincerely, because everything's new. And for our teachers, it's like everybody's a first-year teacher. And first-year teaching is like the hardest year ever. And this year, it's like every teacher's first year, because they're learning technology, they're learning new ways of doing things. And it's flat out sad when I walk around the high school and I see a teacher in this really cool brand new classroom sitting in a corner in front of a computer, trying to teach, trying to be excited. And they just have these tiles, Brady Bunch tiles, we call them, out in front of them. So it's really tough for the teachers. They're working so hard, but they're really trying to make things engaging. And I think the same goes with our students, is that it's just tough. You got to rally up. But one of the most important things, and I'm going to get on a soapbox for a minute, is education is the great equalizer. It's the one thing. It doesn't matter how much money you have, who your family is. It's the one way that we bring our society together and give everybody a chance. So with remote learning, that's where our students have to say, hey, this is my education. Maybe I'm looking at a computer screen. Maybe I'm doing it differently. Maybe this isn't the most fun, but I still need to get an education, and I need to be able to compete on a global economy. So I have to work really hard, and I've got to have some resolve myself to get up, get out of bed like you two, and get out there and do a good job getting a good education and doing the best we can. And we're all hopeful that we'll be back soon. What's working for you, Makai, out there? When you think of remote learning and the schedule, what part about it do you like the best?
I mean, I can wake up a lot later. I got my bed right behind me. So, I mean, when I said I just rolled out of bed and got going, that's what happened for me. So it was nice. But other than, the later time, for me, probably the breakout rooms. I love the breakout rooms in Zoom. I mean, although sometimes, granted, gets a little awkward. Some kids with, the camera off, the mic off, and I'm just chilling. I'm talking to a wall. I know you hear me. I know you're there. You know what I'm talking about. But no, I'm just enjoying that interaction. It's nice, face to face, but maybe not in person. I'm a big talker myself, so I enjoy that piece of it.
Oh, that's awesome. And it's a good way. Like you said, you miss the social interaction.
Oh, yeah.
So you got to make the best of a Zoom interaction, right? And have some breakouts, chat with people, meet people that you don't know, because all your classes are new. Brady, let me ask you this. We're doing 4 periods, not 8 periods. Do you like 4, or would you rather be rolling in 8 right now?
Well, normally I would say 8, because then you get like the transition between classes each day. But honestly, I can see how 4 classes for remote learning is very. It helps the teachers a lot, because it's not putting so much stress of having to tackle 8 classes because this is the first time that teachers are they're learning through this as the years going on, because this has never really happened on this scale before. So kind of like the less classes and more focus on like certain subjects, especially since it's not like normal school where we're like programmed to know how to do it. I feel like this schedule is pretty good.
Good. Well, this is the first time in a long time that we've had just straight classes, 5 days a week, periods 1 through 4 every day, and not doing the alternating blue gold day thing. So it's different for our teachers. It's different for our students. But I'm hearing a lot of people come back to me, at least, saying, wow, I'm really glad that we did it this way, because managing 8 would have been tough. And I like the consistency of knowing what the 4 classes are, getting to know a teacher that you've never met before. And frankly, for you guys, I know it's like, wow, I haven't been back to school since March. I haven't been around people since March. Makai already pointed out, it's like, wow, I like the later start time at 9 o'clock. That's something I wish we could continue with. But anyway, that's one of the bonuses. Makai, what other thoughts do you have around what's happening at home, the schedule, questions other kids are having to you as the ASB president?
I got a couple questions for you coming in from a variety of people. What are your, Terry tips of focus? Because that's one of the biggest things that I'm hearing from a lot of kids is how do I focus with this online, environment? It's really hard. I mean, I'm going to be honest, I got a lot of distractions around me in my own room. What is your biggest takeaway? I mean, if Brady, if you want to pop in for this one too, just what's the biggest thing to help me focus?
Yeah, I guess I'd jump in with a couple of things there, and that's a great question. Number one, I think, is turn on your camera, because, I've had to do a number of Zoom meetings, and you tend to, when you shut your camera off, you don't engage, because like, oh, nobody's watching me, nobody's what I'm doing, so therefore I'm going to crawl back into bed, and if I hear my name, I might jump out. But if you have your camera on, you engage, right, and you focus. The other tip that I tell teachers is like change your environment, right? Like get out of your bedroom. You got a laptop, move it out to the back patio for a class. Move out into the kitchen and stand up for one whole class for 60 minutes and give your back a break. So try to move around, maybe pick a different room for every class that you do, or a different position. I worry about our teachers too, where they, sitting in a chair, looking at a computer screen. So try to mix it up a little bit. That would be my Terry tip, I guess, if that's what we're going to call it.
Yeah, and I will add, take this and just toss it away when you're doing classes, because for a lot of students, having it right next to your thing, people can be tempted to just kind of, because it's not a classroom environment, they can just like start looking at their phone and then miss what's being taught.
Great. Hey, I see a good question coming across the board here. Zoom bombing. What are we going to do about it? And try to put this in perspective is Zoom bombing is kind of a nationwide thing. I think our teachers are doing a lot better job. They're checking you at the door with the waiting room. They're making you turn your cameras on so they know who it is coming. But a lot of times the Zoom bombing will be, somebody in New York, and they've just got, somebody put the link out there. So they're like, oh, I'm going to see if I can crash into this room. But Zoom bombing is not cool. And I want to be really clear about that. If it's Tahoma kids doing it, we're going to have to talk. We've got learning, and like I said, learning is a great equalizer, and we don't want to disrupt that learning. So Zoom bombing needs to stop. If it is some of our kids, I realize nationally we've got some things that we're trying to work out. We're looking at a new model, possibly switching into authenticated Zooming, which means you got to use a Go Tahoma email in order to get in, and that way you can kind of track, who's logging in with what emails and that route. Have you guys had any Zoom bombing in your classes, or is it rare or infrequent?
Pretty rare, I would say. I mean, haven't had it happen to me per se, or anybody that I've known. So,
okay, Brady.
No, it hasn't happened to me. But I've heard stories in other classes for Zoom classes that people are like sending out links to people outside of school, and some of those students, because it's unauthenticated, that they just enter and they're causing disruptions, and it doesn't really hurt them because they're not in the school.
Right. So let's be cool out there, Bears, and let's focus on learning and none of that nonsense. And have some empathy for your teachers. I mean, I'm telling you right now, they are working so hard to provide you a good educational platform and product. They're getting up early, they're leaving late, they're doing all they can. And to add one more layer of nonsense like this stuff, because people are putting their links out there or they're being inappropriate during the class, this isn't the time. This is the time to get an education. And that's, when you look back at the COVID question, this is a time to come together as a country, as a community, as a school, and that we all have to work together and we all have to do our part. We all have to do the heavy lifting, so to speak. And that means we can't rely on our teachers just to feed it to us. We've got to engage in the learning and do the best we can. So let's all try to do a better job with that and see what we can do. Hey, here's another question rolling in. Great question. I haven't picked up my books yet, or they weren't delivered. What do I need to do? But first up, I don't know what happened last week, because our bus drivers delivered books to all parts of Maple Valley, Hobart, Ravensdale. We did a great job of getting those out. Some of our walkers that live really close to the school walked up here, picked them up. But we still have, to that point, a couple hundred bags of books, so to speak, here at the high school. So we are open after school. And you come back to the gym, so you need to go around to the west side. That would be the stadium side. Pull up over there, and we'll get you your books. But you got till Wednesday to get those picked up. You got to do your part. So maybe you go for a power hour jog, or you run up here right after school and pick those up. But you got to have the books to be able to do the learning. So great question on that one, and make sure you get that taken care of. Another tie to that I would tie in is, we're not going to have to return the books, since you'll be in that class all year long. So if you had a chemistry book, you can hang on to that book. But if you haven't had chemistry yet, for example, at the end of the quarter, when we start quarter 2, we'll have to do a whole new book delivery and get those books out to you and into your hands. And we think this process went pretty well. We're trying to work out a few bugs. So great question on that. Any other questions rolling in, guys?
Nope. I think you did a beautiful monologue, Terry. But I think we should get our guest of the hour in here. I think we really should.
Well, who's our guest?
I think it is the wonderful activities coordinator and leadership teacher herself, Viham. Say hi to the people.
All right. Let's
you're
roll her
muted.
to the big screen and let her take over and talk to us about activities, all things Tahoma. Look at, she's got that bear poster behind you. I love backgrounds. That's a cool bear. It looks like it's sneaking up on you there, Miss Van Homison. But she's been doing an amazing job. But hey, fill us in on activities. What's going on around Tahoma with that?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, good morning, everyone. And this week is our first Spirit Week, first virtual Spirit Week of the year, starting with Pajama Day Classic on a Monday, which, let's be real, every day is Pajama Day in remote learning. Don't think we don't know, kids. And so each day there's a different theme. We're going to push out information on the activity Instagram account and on my VHOM account for the different themes. And tomorrow is Outdoors Day, which, again, every kid's dream to have class outdoors. Tomorrow is your day. And so we're going to try to have these Spirit Weeks as often as we can. And in addition to today, we're kicking off Club Fair. And traditionally, Club Fair, we have it in the Commons, and you can stop by and see all the clubs. And obviously, we can't do that, so we're doing it a little different. So during Power Hour today, your teachers will push out the Club Fair slides. And so it'll have a list of all the organized clubs as well as Power Hour activities that are going to go on during our hour in between our classes. And this is a chance for you to get contact information and see what's out there for you to get involved in. And every club and every Power Hour activity is really trying to make it so that we stay connected, even though we're not together. So that's what's coming up right now this week, like just today. Next week, we have some exciting stuff because each class gets to vote on their class slogan. So your ASB officers have come up with 4 or 5 maybe different slogans for your class, and we'll push out the information on how to vote on that, and then you get to pick what your class slogan is for the year. So that's pretty cool. And so that'll be next week.
That's awesome. Hey, and boy, I know the food bank's really struggling. It's like no other time. Have we looked at anything yet about doing a food drive or remote food drive? I don't even know.
Yep, we're working with the new director, Ms. Homnick. She and I have been in contact, and we're going to set up some different things that we can coordinate together and really set up some helping hands that we can give for the food bank. And so that'll be coming out in the coming weeks as well.
So you mentioned a club fair. We're still going to do clubs at Tahoma?
Yep. So we are still offering, I would say 90% of our clubs are still figuring out a way to meet. And you said earlier that, you know, the teachers are working really hard, and they are. Clubs that are traditionally hands-on in person are still finding ways that they can make time together meaningful, and they're still meeting during this time. So they'll be meeting during Power Hour or after school. And so they've been working with me to find ways to make that happen.
Oh, that's awesome. So that's Wednesday's club fair.
We're going to push it out today during Power Hour.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. So let's get rolling with that, Bears. Get involved, get active. Anything else from ASB leadership, Bear Crew, anything exciting? You're such a hard worker.
Well, so Bear Crew obviously looks a little different because that's a totally in-person activity. And so we're figuring out the best way to connect with the freshmen and really onboard them into our high school. And what a crazy way to join a brand new giant high school than to do it remote learning. So information will be coming out about that in, I think, the next week or so. Yeah.
Okay, we'll find a way to get involved, Bears. Miss Van Homison, thanks for jumping in with us. Can we have you back on Call with Duty again?
Of course, anytime.
All right, well, let's plan on that. You guys have any questions for Miss Van Homison before we wrap it up for the day?
Nope. I just have to say I love you, Viham.
Thanks, Randy.
It was great seeing you. You know, hope you have a wonderful day.
Hey,
All right.
today's pajama day, tomorrow's outdoors day.
All right.
Yeah.
But stay indoors until the smoke's gone, right?
Yes.
All right, let's wrap up our first episode of Call with Duty. Thanks for being here, guys. We'll keep this going. Get your questions in. Makai and Brady, you two are awesome. Will you come back with me again?
Of course,
Absolutely.
you know it, Terry.
All right. Well, let's keep this going. Maybe we can get Makai playing some guitar, spinning some vinyl for us. Brady, maybe you can talk about some of your hobbies and things that you got going in life during COVID. Our next episode, I'm going to have Mr. Davis join us, and he's our athletics director. So we got to hear on the activity side what's going to happen with athletics. Where are we at with that? And when we get this rolling again with the Call with Duty, maybe we can find out a little bit from Mr. Davis what he's been up to. He's also our football coach, and maybe find out what's going on there. But we'll bring some guests in. So shoot us some comments of who you'd like to see on here, who you'd like to hear from. Keep the questions coming, keep the comments coming. Thanks for joining us, Bears. Hope you enjoyed this. Hopefully you learned a few things, but sure appreciate it. I'm going to finish with a Go Bears, and we'll see you guys soon.
Thank you.